Hello and welcome to our Facebook Live video today. I am Joy Meeks. This is my husband Tim. Everyone probably knows Tim as the CEO and inventor of the Harpejji, but I am the Customer Experience Manager. I wear different hats in the company, but my main job is to make sure you, the customer, is taken care of. So when you purchase an instrument, I am here to help you with questions that you might have, or to order accessories and things like that. I will send you progress photos along the way, really any questions that you might have about the instrument. And we're not only here from the beginning of the build to the end, we're also here after, because we want to give you the tools to be successful in learning this instrument, this fun instrument that we all enjoy ourselves, that you'll be successful in that.
So what is your favorite thing to do?
My favorite
at
thing
Marcodi? You do many things, but what is your absolute favorite thing to do?
Actually communicating with the customer, with you, the customer. I absolutely enjoy that. I love getting feedback from you and seeing videos and pictures and that kind of thing. That's just, I just love doing that. So anyway,
also one of the things she's also been doing lately is sales, and helping in the process of selecting out body materials and colors and things like that. And so if you send an email to support@marcodi.com, we both get that email, and we both are available to assist you. Whoever's first available will assist you, but we communicate constantly, and we're at your service.
That's right. So also thank you for watching this video today, and if you could like and share, and we really do appreciate that. It means a lot to us for your support and time. So also we have a Harpejji discount promo code that will be good for the weekend until Sunday, the 4th, I think it is today. Yeah. So you can use this promo code Marcodi Live to get a discount on the Harpejji.
Right. But it's a secret. We're not telling you what it is. You have to ask us. That's how it works.
So we've done videos in the past showing you, I think one of the first videos that we did was taking you to each of the stations, I think at each of the rooms, the standing room, the painting room, and showing you where things are done, but you've never actually seen action, I don't believe. So we're going to take you around today and show you Marcodi in action, and some of the guys working in the shop. It's a busy day, so Tim, you want to lead the way?
All right. Here we have Alec.
Hi.
And Alec just completed a fret job on this Harpejji G16. Right?
That's right.
And it's covered in blue tape. Why is this thing covered in blue tape?
So, to work on these frets, we need to keep the instrument protected. If we're going to be grinding the frets down to make them even and flat so they sound nice, eliminate all that buzz, and then after that we polish them up to make them look pretty. But if we were to just do that with the instrument untaped, we would scratch it up, and we want to keep this paint job looking nice.
Especially so this one, because this looks like you got a high gloss here. This is a pearl white, which is pretty cool. I don't know if you can see it in this camera with this resolution, but there is a pearl sort of metallic look to it. And this is for customer Jay Logan. Jay, if you're watching, I hope you're watching. This is your instrument that is about to get built. So go ahead and do your thing. Let's see. Let's peel this tape off.
We're going to take this tape off, and we're going to see how good it looks. Usually it looks pretty great.
Yeah. Hey, how embarrassing would that be if it pulled all the paint out?
That's not going to happen today.
Yeah, this would be the time for that to happen.
I love all the flex in the paint job too. It's pretty.
Yeah, it gives it a nice shimmer. And with the shiny frets, it's just glowing.
Yep. So this is the big reveal, right?
Yep. Yep. So once you get all this tape off, what's the next thing that you're going to do?
So this instrument is already built. We can flip it over in a minute and look at it. But next, we're going to put the tuner channel in, so we are able to put the strings in, and then start setting it up so it sounds nice.
Excellent. Cool. So I see here this thing says fitted. Tell us what that means. What's that all about?
So the tuner channel down there holds the strings. That's where you press them in. You put them in here through the bridge, and then they're held down in the tuner channel. That's where you tune it, naturally. That's where the name comes from. We need to fit the tuner channel in there so it can be movable, so we can get that height perfect for the string action that we're looking for.
Right.
So that's already been fitted.
Right. And so the way we fit things is we have these little bumps here in the wood that we file down to make sure that it's a perfect fit and that the tuner channel drops in there nicely and doesn't tilt. And the reason why we leave these bumps for filing is so that we can purposefully get it perfect by hand. Otherwise we're kind of relying on tolerances in the machining process that may or may not be perfect. We can get it perfect by gently filing that by hand. Cool. Well, this looks great.
Yeah, it really came together.
It's a sharp-looking instrument. I do like the lighter gray logos up here. It just kind of gives it that sort of sort of a brilliant look, like it's sort of glowing or something.
Yeah, I like the choice to add this little design at the top. It's cool when people give it their own flair.
Okay.
And there we have it.
Thanks, Alec. Let's see what Scotty's up to over here.
Hi.
All right. What you doing?
Well, right now I'm putting in these bus wires in the fret pot or the fret slots.
Okay. Why would a fret need wires, Scotty?
Well, our Harpejis are pretty unique things. All of the frets are connected into a ground circuit, and that is what triggers the muting. So when you release the string, no sound is being made, unlike an electric guitar, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
We have wires in the frets, but we want to be redundant with that and make sure that there's no way that circuit is going to go out or go bad, or a fret is going to just no longer work there.
So the frets are part of the electrical circuit then?
Yes, they are. And
so can you get electrocuted by touching a Harpejji fret?
No, I don't believe there's any current going through the Harpejji frets. It's just simply connecting them to a ground.
Well, everything in the Harpejji power supply is run on 9 volts DC, which is the highest voltage that would exist on the Harpejji fretboard. So even if you touch 9 volt, it's not going to hurt you. But when we drop everything down for the frets, I think it's down to 1 volt or less, and so you're not going to get hurt. There's no high voltage on the Harpejji. Now I'm seeing something else here, which looks different to me. What is up with these markers, Scotty?
This is our alphabet marker series. We're trying to use this to make our instruments more easy for you, the player, to be able to play and see and know what notes you're on.
Mm-hmm.
So we have, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C.
Why don't we turn the camera around so that they can see it the other way?
We're doing Instagram as well.
Yeah. Okay. So now, are you saying that all of these instruments are going out with these alphabet markers now?
No, this is something that that you do have to ask us about and ask us for. If you're familiar with our instrument, our standard fret marker is just a slanted white or black note, very similar to this. Mm-hmm. The cool thing about this one is that from a distance, it kind of looks pretty much the same. It's not really too in your face that you can see the notes.
Yep.
But it's very helpful if you're playing and want to know what notes you're playing.
Yep.
Yeah,
very cool.
I'm very happy about seeing these.
So after you get these wires tucked in, what are you going to do after that?
After I get these wires tucked in, my frets. Yeah, I cleaned my fret slots, so I'm going to go straight to beginning the process that Alec just did, which starts with hammering the frets. So I'm going to take a pile of 19 frets that we've already prepared, and I'm going to hammer them in with some glue, of course, and we're going to let that sit for a day while we're building the rest of the instrument.
Okay, so in the fret making process, let's use one word for each step, right? Like rounding, leveling, right? Mm-hmm. So let's talk about, you start with a long piece of fret wire, right? Here's the fret tubes that fret wire comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Right, this is what we do on the G16 K24. So using one word for each step, or maybe 1 or 2 words or 3 words.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us all of the things that you have to do between this tube and having a polished fret.
Well, I I've had the fortune over the past couple of years of sort of streamlining that process. And
Would you say you're the fret master?
some people call me that, but it is not on my name tag.
You can arrange for
We
that.
can arrange that.
Okay. Yes, that position keeps me up at night sometimes. There's a lot of work that goes into our frets.
First you
So-
open the tube. Step 1 is open.
Yeah,
Okay.
step one is order the parts.
Okay.
Step 2 is open the tube. Anyway, so we have this, and this can be made into a few lengths or a few frets for us. So the next thing that we do is we take this into a very specific little jig that we've made to cut specific lengths so that they're the same every single
You're
time.
totally breaking my one-word rule.
Oh, you're right.
Totally breaking it. So
Okay.
step 1 is cut.
Cut. Cut. Nip.
Nip.
Round.
Right.
Crimp.
Crimp.
Mark the center.
Mhm.
Notch.
Right.
Solder.
Yeah.
Hammer it.
Mm-hmm.
Ground. Or level. Crown. Polish.
Which is sand.
Right.
And
Polish sand. And then steel wool.
And then steel wool.
Um.
And there's a bunch of taping in there too.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Everything that Alex
everything
is
that
just
Alex
doing.
This guy did not know he was
Right.
going to have a quiz today.
Yeah.
He passed.
Oh,
Make sure you study.
Oh, I could pass this quiz in my sleep.
So to all those people out there that wonder, look at the instrument and think, hey, that looks very, very elegant and simple. It's it's just a board with strings on it. There's a lot of labor, and we haven't even talked about setup, soldering, all that other stuff. There's a lot involved. And thank you for passing your quiz. You passed. You didn't miss any steps. All right, let's move on.
Thank you.
Let's go back here. Hey, did we unlock this door back here?
The door's unlocked.
Okay. We're going to walk through the paint room, which you've seen before. Of course, here's our paint booth. We don't have anything that's ready for painting today,
No, but there is.
but this is how we do it. If you didn't
an
see
instrument.
these carts the last time that we gave you a shop run through, all the Harpejis go on these paint carts. And if you look here, you can see that we have these pyramids that are in very specific places on all of the carts that they hold the Harpejji, like this one, that's black K24, as they're getting painted. And so what we do is we put it on the cart, we roll it into the paint booth, right? And then we got our fan button here. That sucks up all the fumes and the tiny paint particles, and it gets painted. And then after it's painted, it's wet, and we put it in this drying garage right here that holds 4 carts. Okay, and we close the lid, and what this does is it allows the there we go. Something's in the way. Nope. Okay. It allows everything to dry without getting dust on it, so that we don't have little particles buried in the clear coat, for example. Okay, and this is actually breathable. We have a breathable fabric that surrounds this drying garage to let the air flow nicely all around it. So at any time we might have up to 4 Harpejis in there being painted, but we're not painting this hour. We were painting earlier that black one that I just showed you. So let's go over here. I hear some activity going on back here. All right, first of all, who's this guy? This looks like a new employee. Is that, why don't you interview this new employee?
Well, this is Frank. Hello, Frank. Hang on 1 second. I think. Okay, there we go. We're good. Frank is an intern from a local high school here, and he's been with us for about 2 months. Right?
Yeah, about a month
2
and a
months?
half too.
Yeah.
Month and a
So
half.
how cool is that? When I was in high school, I don't remember that kind of a thing being available. But yeah, here in Baltimore County, there is a work-study program that allows seniors, if their schedule allows, to use part of their day to get some work experience. And so Frank approached us and said, "Hey, I got this availability. Can I come work here?" And we said, "Absolutely, we'd love to have you." He's not the only high school student here. I have 3 sons
3 sons.
now that was 2, now 3 in high school. No, sorry, 2 in high school, 1 in middle school that are working here as well. Mostly in the summertime, though. So anyway, what are you doing here? What is this?
So basically, these frets that I just cut and then crimped, which is where you bend the end right there. I'm basically I marked the center right there with a Sharpie, and you have to cut into this saw to make a little notch out for it so that you can fit this bus wire right here. Here, I'll show one that I already saw. Should be able to fit like right into there, pretty good, so that it can get soldered into there so it doesn't move.
Okay, well show us what you're doing. Go ahead.
All right.
It's gonna get a little noisy, everybody.
Yeah.
It's even got a
Putting his goggles
safety
on.
goggles
For
on.
anybody
Safety
at
first.
his high school that is watching and monitoring us, he has safety goggles on.
So just cut a hole right down there.
All right.
Awesome.
Wire can fit right in there.
Good job. Is it fun working here?
Yeah, it is fun.
Yeah. You've done a lot of different things around here. What's your favorite task been so far?
I really like sanding down and puttying the instruments. I really think that's enjoyable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I think that's because he's a skateboard guy, and he just likes working with boards of wood. Speaking of which, looks like we got something here on the sanding table, right?
Yep.
Are you about to do this, Chris?
I'm about to do this. So I'm gonna hand the
I'll
camera off.
hold the camera, and this is our downdraft table that sucks all the sawdust down into the table.
Yep.
And why are you sanding? What is this? What's
So
going on?
basically, what happened was.
Say hello, Chris.
Hi, everybody. I'm normally
Okay.
behind the camera.
Yeah.
Now I'm in front.
Okay.
So I painted this earlier today. I started painting it. Actually, yesterday I finished painting it, and today we did a thing called we level sand it. So we put a whole bunch of coats on here because we bury this vinyl, and this vinyl is it's enough coats that we put about 10 coats of paint on it to level it. So then before the final coat gets on there, the final top coat, and we have to make sure everything fits. So we put our tuner channel cover in here and make sure it fits, which right now it's just a little bit big. So I'm going to make sure it fits by grinding a little bit of the wood down. I get some of the paint away. Sometimes I have to take a little bit away from our piece. But before that, we just make this really, really smooth before we can put the final top coat on there. This one is going to get a top coat of matte, and it's going to look really, really good. With the other top coats that we do, when we do a satin top coat, it's a different process, and when we do a high gloss top coat, it is a whole different process that we don't always do here. We have our special paint guy do that. But this is our standard instrument. So this is a standard G16 birch and matte finish. So yeah, this is one of my favorite ones. This one looks really good. It's very smooth, and it's exactly what we're looking for.
So what tools are you going to use here with this? What do you got?
So here I'm going to use a square file.
Okay.
I think it got started already a little bit, and I just take the square file.
I have a question. Is this a handcrafted instrument?
This absolutely is. Every piece of this thing, when we get it, after it's CNC'd, it comes to us CNC'd, and it's raw, bare wood. And the thing that Frank was talking about that he likes to do is we putty up any holes that are in it, or any, things that are not so flattering to it. And then we sand it, and we sand it really smooth, and then that's before the painting. Sanding could take a couple days. So it is a very, very long and tedious process. Painting also takes quite a few days, depending on the paint job. Finishing it will take another day. So it's a long process. And then fitting all the parts in there, making sure, like we already looked at the tuner channel, and make sure that fits in there, the covers, to make sure everything in the bottom fits in there nicely, and our handles are nice and smooth is a big deal. And putting the vinyl on itself is all done by hand.
What's this thing over here? This blue tool over here?
This one?
Yeah.
This is our favorite tool. We have a couple of them. This is our random orbital sander. And this is what we use for sanding the bare wood, and also for sanding the painted wood. So right now this looks very chalky and dusty because we use this with 320 grit sandpaper, and that's what flattens it out smooth. Because if we were to do it by hand, sometimes you get waves and dips and things like that, and this eliminates that. This makes a really smooth, plain surface.
Mm-hmm. Why random orbital?
I think it's because of the swirl marks, because if you were to just do it straight like this, you would have a lot of sanding marks in there, because that's what sandpaper does, is it scratches it up, and you'll have a bunch of scratch marks.
Yeah.
So random orbital, it has two different planes that go like this, so that there's no marks in there really.
Cool. So I also see something I'm noticing behind you there on the wall, hanging that I don't believe was here last time we did a little shop tour. So tell about that.
A new addition, and it is, so if you want to see this dust in here, if you guys can see that, I'll demonstrate. This is our little air gun. So the dust is there, dust is gone. This is great for that.
And ideally the table would be on, sucking this all that stuff.
Ideally the table would be on, but it's very, very loud.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you can still hear me. The table's on. Yeah. So I'm going to keep it off for now. But that is, we use the air for our paint guns. We have 4 different paint guns. We use the air for back here to dust things off. We also have a vacuum. And in the other part of the shop, when the thing is totally done and ready for pictures, we blow it off to get every little speck of dust before we take photographs.
But what's the coolest thing about the air compressor that we can do up on the driveway in the event?
Also, inflate my tires
Aha!
perfectly on my motorcycle.
Yes.
It's excellent.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to have a compressor up there. Okay, cool. All right, so you're going to be hand filing next?
So I'm going to be hand filing next. And
just getting those edges.
Yeah, I just want to get them really nice and smooth. You can see a little bit of paint in there. So I want to get that. And basically, I might use this tool that we have behind us. If this is, sometimes it's a little bit easier. We take this edge and just give it on this a little bit.
Let's show it.
This is our disc sander.
Okay.
Disc sander. There's a funny note that we have here.
Let's see.
It says wear goggles. Seriously. So I'll put on my mask here.
Safety first at Marcodi Musical Products.
That's what we do. And I'm just gonna give it just a little bit. Alright, and then on the other side, just a little bit. Alright, that might be enough for it. Put it in there. Not quite yet. But like I said, this is it's a process. Everything takes just a little bit longer to do.
Cool. Well, Chris, you've been the shop manager now for
over a year now.
For over 2 years.
3 years.
Over 2 years now.
Time
Right?
flies when you're having fun, right?
Well, you've been here over 2 years. I don't know if you were the shop manager for that long, but
I took it over last year.
so you're like the one guy around here that can do everything, every little step. Although there's probably some things that Scotty has always done that you just let him do, right? Yeah.
He's the fret guy.
He's the fret guy, right? And there's probably some things with the power supply, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. I let him take care of that too.
So what are your favorite things to do? I mean, on any given day, you're doing one of a million different things. And what would you say is your favorite, maybe your favorite room to be in, or your favorite task? I mean, I see you doing vinyl, you're doing painting, you're ordering parts.
Recently, my favorite thing has been painting. This is a new thing. Can we go back up?
Let's go back out.
So, we started painting with a brush and a couple of cans, and it was a learning process. I've never painted anything before in my life, and I can say now that me and the other guys that work here, we can put out a professional paint job because we've learned a lot and we've practiced a lot, and we have the right tools. We have the right tools for the job. We have the know-how, and this is my favorite thing to do.
Well, first when we started, all we were doing was clear coats.
Yep.
right?
Standard.
So let's talk about the evolution of the painting in-house here. Now, of course, we have Josh, who does our most difficult paint jobs. He does, if you see something that's sunburst and high gloss and or like some metallic paint with custom artwork and so forth, that's typically Josh. But talk about the evolution of painting skills that we have added here.
Yeah, so we started off with just our regular finish that I was just showing you in there, which is just a Zinsser seal coat to give the wood some color and tone it up. And then, like I said, we put the vinyl on and then we bury it with. Now we're burying it with 10 coats. And we used to brush it on and brush it on.
Oh, I got to interrupt you. There's a question from the crowd here from a certain Taylor Mistroff. Is he single?
She knows that answer.
The mask is a good look, she said. So, yeah.
Well, thank you.
Okay, that must have been from 5 minutes ago. Okay, sorry to interrupt.
So we started off with just the simple paint jobs just to see if we could do it. We had other people. Contractors doing it, and I thought that we could do it better here, and it turns out that we could. Yep. So we started doing the basic paint jobs, and little by little we started getting some colors and some stains. We have a lot of solid colors, we have a ton of stains, we have tons of finishes, a lot of things that we practice with, and so stain was the next thing that we did, and the first one that we did turned out really good actually. And we were happy with it, so we kept on going with stains.
What's this all this colorful stuff up here? This unicorn spit.
Oh, this unicorn spit is something we love and hate. It sometimes plays tricks on us and is a little difficult to use, but it produces really, really bright, vibrant colors. And if you've seen any of the instruments we put out recently, with red, with green, with like a baby sky blue.
That dark blue one that we did recently was pretty awesome. That was the best one.
Yeah, Mr. Royer. That was one of our shop favorites. One of my favorites in particular. Turned out really, really great.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we've just gotten better. We've used different tools to do it, and then, like I said, we've got our whole setup here with our nice hair and our guns, and yeah, we're totally functional. We can do everything now.
Can you do a sunburst?
I did one sunburst, and it turned out pretty good. I'm still working on it. It's a difficult thing. I still need some practice, but it's an excellent thing. I've done pretty good with that. And actually, another thing that Scott did our first high gloss instrument, and that is a very long and tedious and messy process of buffing and sanding and sanding and sanding and buffing, and so we did one of those here, and we're all really happy with it.
Cool.
We'll have to do a video when we have something to paint in here, and just do a painting live video. That would be cool to watch.
Yeah, we'll take it through.
All right, I know Joy's gonna get mad at me, but I want to show this foliage. Isn't this beautiful? It's November the 2nd today.
Oh, you
and
should at the back door once we.
Look at that. Look at those pretty colors out there. Okay, we're here in rural Maryland, just outside of Baltimore. Okay.
Are there any questions, Tim?
Any questions?
Or...
I'm not really good with here. Chris, why don't you be the camera
let's
guy?
switch it back. Bye, everybody. All right, back on you guys.
I also have Instagram, so.
So, anybody have any questions?
That are not related to the marital status of Chris.
Not seeing anybody. Anybody on Instagram?
Comments. I mean, James Burton said that he is still loving his U12, Tim.
Cool.
And Corey Henry joined us a little while ago and said, "Love you guys."
Awesome.
Oh,
thanks,
hey, Corey.
We just saw Corey play up in Lancaster. Sorry. You have to say Lancaster. You can't say Lancaster, or the people that live there will get upset. So we were in Lancaster, and we saw Corey Henry and the Funk Apostles. They did a great show. And he also did a master class upstairs at the venue for a select group of people. And he showed them the Harpejji, and he talked about it, and he played it. He played yesterday? Was it the Beatles song, I think? Chris, was that right?
Mm-hmm.
He did.
Yep.
And did a great job with that. And I believe we posted that. You can go look on our Facebook channel and watch that. Anyway, let's come back out here. I want to I'll let Joy remind everybody.
Promo code?
Yeah.
There's a couple questions before we get there.
Oh, sure.
Deborah Collins asked, do the different woods require different processes? And I can answer that even though I'm not on camera.
Here, let me switch the camera. Let's let
So
the
is
expert
that, I don't know
talk
if
about
that's
that.
the Collins that we have right now. Is that the Collins we have right now? We have a couple different.
Yeah, it is.
woods.
Yeah, that is.
It is. All
Deborah
right, so
Collins.
Mrs.
Do we have her instrument?
We do.
All right.
what was the one?
See, Deborah, you ask a question and you get more information than
All right,
you.
so I'm gonna show you. Oh no, that's not it. It must be somewhere else right now. Well, Collins.
Missing in action.
Yep.
We have it.
I
Promise.
think it's getting work done.
Getting work done?
Bamboo G16. Yeah.
Yeah. In the closet?
Might be in the closet.
Okay.
Oh no, it's not. It's here. It's ready. I know where it is. Sorry.
See, live TV, you know? I mean, geez, what do you expect?
It's hiding.
There we go.
So, Collins, there you are.
All right, look at
And
that.
it looks-
Deborah Collins.
and it
There
looks
is your instrument.
Really chalky right now because this is almost ready to get its satin finish. It's got its process that we showed earlier. But the question that I would like to answer is, yeah, the different woods are different processes. The birch is a difficult one where the sides of it are can be kind of a pain to take down and to make smooth. Bamboo starts off much smoother, but it also has some pits in there that we have to take care of. And maple, which we don't have any maples right now, is normally one of the easiest to work with. So I do like maple. But basically, we do the same thing for each one.
Cool. Okay. Oh, yeah. Deborah Collins says, oh, yes. Oh, got a question from, I want to say Einar Freuza, who is in, I want to say Norway, if I'm not mistaken. But he asked the question, we sent him a Harpejji recently. He asked the question if we do the electronics in-house.
We sure do.
So, I don't know. Let's go ahead, Chris. Talk about the electronics in-house. I mean, we don't actually fabricate boards in-house, right?
No, we don't fabricate the boards. So if you don't mind if I turn this over real quick, Scott. So I'll show you what Scott was working on. This is the guts of the Harpejji.
Whoa,
Yep.
lots of wires.
So there's lots of wires, and there's the bus wires that Scott was talking about right here that go down the strip, 19 frets, right? And they're all connected. Ouch.
Gotta be
They're all
careful
connected.
now.
And
Safety first, right?
so, we have our knobs down here, volume and tone. We have our input jacks and our power jack. And then we have our board, our main motherboard, and our power supply board. Everything gets connected up with the ferrules that are right there.
Yep, that's where we gain electrical contact with each individual string. You would see a string, the ball end of a string, right there if this actually had strings on it, but it's not there in the process yet. And that's where the ball end of the string is where we grab electrical contact.
Yep. So yes,
Okay.
we do electronics in-house. And I think it's everybody's favorite. These two.
Soldering.
Norway. So Einar said Norway. Am I saying your name correctly? Is it Einar? Is that how you say it? Please respond. All right, Joy.
Yes.
We need a reminder.
Uh-huh.
So let's go over here and grab your paper
Okay.
and remind everybody.
Harpejji discount code. Good for the weekend. If you are interested in a discount, you can give us a promo code Marcodi Live. And again, good till Sunday, the 4th.
Sunday, November the 4th.
November the 4th.
That's right.
Einar said that is correct.
All right, good.
And Taylor asked, what is the hardest part of the process? What's the hardest part of the process, guys?
Of the whole Harpejji making process.
Setups,
Setups.
volume.
Yeah, we did a whole video on that. If you were watching several months ago, many steps in the setup. That's where we ensure that every Harpejji has correct intonation on every string, correct action on every string, correct volume balancing from left to right, and what else? We make sure that all the moving parts are moving correctly, and we make sure that it sounds beautiful. And sometimes, for example, we'll get it all set up and everything's perfect and everything measures perfect, and then we listen to it and like, you know what, this string number 11, it just doesn't sound ideal. And let's swap out the saddle on that, or in the pickup, and let's see if we can't make that sound better. And we'll do that, and until everything sounds correct and perfect, we don't ship it. I don't let anything get out the door unless all of that sounds perfect.
So someone did ask how long does it take to make a Harpejji Bam Bam Meats?
Well, the lead time on a Harpejji today is 60 to 90 days. Most of that lead time is not actually building the Harpejji, but what is it, Chris?
Sorry, I was reading. I wasn't listening.
Yeah. So if it's a 60 to 90 day lead time, does it take us 60 to 90 days to build it, or what's most of that lead time?
Most of that lead time is building all the other instruments first, because we have got a long line of customers, and as you can see, these things take a little while to make. Each one is a whole process.
Right. But so once we get a body, how long does it take?
A fresh body that needs to be sanded and puttied to set up, we could do in about 2 weeks.
Right.
Maybe a little bit less.
And our bodies, you can see them here stacked up. A lot of them have names on them. This one says Sergeant Pepper on it. We've not sold this to Sergeant Pepper, but when we have bodies that we've made but are not yet claimed, we'll just give them funny names that help us to keep track of them in our production tracker, which gives us the full list of all of the outstanding orders, as well as all of the historical orders. I can't talk today. And then at the bottom it would have all of the unclaimed bodies, such as Sergeant Pepper over here.
Awesome.
Other questions?
Not from Instagram. Anything? From
No, Sam's. If we remember him, he says he got his from Wisconsin. Got his G16 earlier this year.
Right, John.
And I love it.
I believe.
Yeah.
I remember that order.
Yeah, I love it. Way much fun, he says, and I remember building it. So I'm glad you still love it.
Great to hear from you, John.
Awesome. I guess we don't have one hooked up for you to
Thank you.
play us out, right?
Yeah, we're not hooked up right now, and I don't think this is even tuned up. But so, what kind of a month was October, Chris?
October was a record month for us. We actually put out 15 instruments. That's pretty big.
That is pretty big.
That's pretty big. Yeah.
And we didn't even have all of the summer help either from all the high schoolers. And so with a smaller fall staff, we did the most instruments in a month, and I'm pretty proud of that. 15 is not too shabby. And we're gradually working through that back order, and we're hoping that one day, very soon, we'll actually have stock where you could just call us up and order an instrument, and we have it in stock. So we're working towards that.
We're getting there.
We're getting there.
All
Okay.
right.
Well, I thank you for watching. Hope it was interesting today. I know it was sort of random and impromptu, but we want to keep it real for you, and we don't want to have everything all staged.
So what was the promo code one more time?
Yeah, one more code.
Marcodi Live.
Yep. There you go.
Yep.
Free live now through November 4th.
Discount, Harpejji discount.
And why don't we end the video zooming in on the hand labor that's going on over here.
See ya.